been a long time to get a response just through the gap between the last game and this, Mick. What do you make of it? What do you make of the response?
The response?
After the Collingwood game.
Oh, right, yeah, with the gap between the games.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it gives you a lot more time to think about how bad it was the previous time. So, and the weather hasn't been overly kind to us. Our ground has been pretty dismal, and we've struggling to find some spare space on the ground to train on without having heavy legs. So it was a real balancing act, that plus getting the right side and giving players, I suppose, in many respects, just to find that little bit more of a consistency.
Did you feel like the second quarter, 8 straight goals, was a reward for your attacking intent, not just that quarter, the first one as well?
No, let's not confuse the scoreboard with attacking intent. We went out there to defend the ball, and the best form of defence is to have the ball, and from that we were able to score. There was no freewheeling, let's blister the scoreboard. Let me tell you that right now.
What did you make of the third quarter? I think the Saints obviously did a bit of scoring that time.
It's exactly what we're just talking about, is that consistency. We just haven't really been able to mount that practically all year, and it's something that we look at. And when I say we, the players do look at it, but the coaches in particular look at it and just try to find a common denominator. Say, well, we went. There was 16 possessions less, and they were all hand passes. So how come we can hit the scoreboard and then we can't hit the scoreboard? So the opposition, of course, their stats were a lot higher, and they cleaned us up early. So we just couldn't get hold of the football early enough to stop that onslaught, if you like, by St Kilda, and then get the ball forward. I think it was one stage there I called, just give me a stat count, I think it was 17-6. Unless you fluke getting out of the centre and scoring from it, 17-6 is pretty horrendous. And then it took a long time to get back and steady. And we're probably fortunate in that third quarter that they actually kicked probably points that were gettable goals.
What do you make of just after half time, the contact between your captain and their captain?
Oh, you have to. No, I see it like you see it. It's brief, it's gone, and you just move. In fact, quite frankly, I did see I didn't see it at the time. I was watching other things, but I did see it through they replayed it or something. But again, all those things. Yeah, Murph would be the last bloke ever to want to infringe.
Does it concern you though that the current climate?
Oh, as I say, I'm not going to prejudge it or not judge it right now, because I really haven't seen enough of it to say that exactly what took place.
It's your biggest win of the season so far. Would you say it's your best performance so far? What pleased you about the most?
We only had 3 wins out of 8, so I guess no, the 3 wins are all on a par.
What can you take out of this one?
Well, I just hope we can get what we're talking about, squeeze the consistency levels up, and we weren't today, but we may have taken a bit more of a step. So that's what we've got to do, and find out why it drifts.
Bryce Gibbs is going. Mickey seems to be becoming more and more influential in the midfield.
It's funny, looking at his stats there, I thought he was good. Well, he's probably very good, but it wasn't one man. We're very fortunate today that was when you look at Rowe's work, you look at Armfield, Thomas did a fantastic job in that forward line, holding that ball in there. Yaron, Doherty, young players, Everett. So there's 3 players that we brought into the club, all had an impact. Bryce certainly had an impact. I don't know whether stats give you that impact or it just looks good, but in Bryce's case, he's so clean with the football. His disposal rating was 79%, so it's a fair reward. But I wouldn't like to just say that was the difference. I thought we played pretty well. Look, Hayes was very good at 11 clearances. So we probably had more winners over the ground. That's generally how you win games of footy anyway.
Those 3 wins that you spoke about, they've come in the last 4 weeks.
Big one.
The last 3 wins, they've come in the last 4 weeks. So do you feel as if you're getting yourself back to within a position where you can strike for the second half?
Oh, you know, that's absolutely the last thing that you need to worry about is that. I thought we played some good football. You talk about wins. Winning gives you the impression of good football. We played as well a first quarter as we played. It was against Port. We played the next 2 quarters okay. We played the last quarter dreadfully. We played probably half of really good football against Richmond and lost the game in the end. Nothing can be said about Essendon. They belted us all day. Collingwood beat us all day, or they outscored in the last quarter. And Melbourne, we just we're good for 10 minutes. So so it's not necessarily winning makes it a good game. It's the efforts that put through. So I can pick points of 2 or 3 other games that were very good, and I can pick points in this game that weren't very good. But it's better to have a W next to your name than an L.
Any more questions?
Sorry, just with the passing of Tommy Hafey, I think you might have played a season under him.
Well, it's just I don't. Anyone who's visited him the last week or so wouldn't be shocked. I went to see him today, Monday, so it was late the week before. I can't remember which day it was, but Tommy coached me for half a season, but that half a season established a bond that it was alive and well up until this afternoon. He was an amazing man. You know, I don't want to start comparing people, but you know, you get blessed when you have your first 2 coaches is the late Alan Jeans and now the late Tom Hafey. Teach you so much about life and so much about football, and I think that's the secret to it, is that both men were not just football coaches. You know, Maureen will be devastated, as we know, in the family, but you know, Tommy will be well remembered as a great man, not only a great coach, but a great teacher of men and boys.
Thanks, Bob. Just thanks, Bob. Okay.